All right. Hi, everybody. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos. Thought it was kind of appropriate to give you guys the latest update on kind of where I am in my cancer journey. Tomorrow, I, in fact, do have what should be my very last surgery. It'll be my reconstruction of what we did here back in December, and also doing a mastectomy on the other side to kind of just... so I will, in fact, be complete with my double mastectomy after breast cancer. So that's going on tomorrow. So I'm certainly having those emotions of a little bit of anxiety, anticipation, excitement, because it should be my very last and ready. Then I will be officially done with cancer. And so then it's about living the rest of my life cancer-free. You guys know I finished my radiation back in the spring, then had those scans. My scans came back and my scans were completely clean. So my body right now is completely cancer-free. Since then, I have had an oophorectomy where they took my ovaries. I had a stage 3 aggressive estrogen-fed breast cancer. So we thought it was a good idea to go ahead and get rid of those ovaries and stop the estrogen production. So I continue that, and also a form of tamoxifen called exemestane that I do as sort of a maintenance drug to keep the cancer at bay. So that happened this summer back in July. So again, this will be my final surgery. And you know, I like to do these videos too, because in that time period, I've kind of done a lot of thinking and reflecting and kind of putting my thoughts together about what it's kind of like to go through what I've been through with cancer, and hopefully maybe bring something to the table that maybe some of you have never experienced such a thing or have never walked through it with somebody. For me, when I kind of was told that I had cancer back in June of 2014, I was told by doctors that I was going to have a hard year, and I had to get through this really hard year. I wasn't going to lose my life. Once I got through the hard year, you know, in my brain, everything seemed like, oh, okay, I've just got to make it through this season and this time, and then I'm going to be okay. And I'm not sure if it's, you know, I think doctors probably kind of tell you that out of protection, probably for lack of them knowing kind of where somebody is and how much they can handle. So they give you kind of just enough that you can handle. But the actual reality of going through cancer is it's never really over. And I guess that's been an adjustment for me. It hasn't been, it wasn't just you finish radiation, you're cancer free, and then life continues on. Life actually is never the same. Ever, ever, ever. And at some level, there's always sort of that feeling of, I know I'm okay. I know I'm going to be healthy. I know God's got this. I've got my faith. I've got my family. I've got, you know, everything I have going for me. I've got prayers that I don't even know are going on for me. But there's always that little thing that goes, but it could come back. But it can come back. And so it kind of always keeps you in this place of never really settling. And I've talked to cancer survivors, and they tell me, you know, the farther out you get in time, the easier that gets, and the more settled you can kind of become in the normalcy of life. But it's hard, and it's a struggle. And, you know, working through that and trying to really kind of stay in a space of positivity and forward thinking and, you know, imagining a future with your kids and grandkids and long life. There's certainly moments where that's really hard and that's really challenging. And I guess that's when I lean even harder on God and get really dig into my prayer life and really say, you know, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and always acknowledge Him and He will make your path straight. That's just a verse that I kind of say over to myself over and over again when things don't quite make sense to me. And again, I think, well, you know, in my being naive about what cancer was and how I was going to kind of get through it, I just imagined that on the other side of my cancer, you know, when I got through the spring and got into like living again, that the things would just be right, that God would just, everything that was maybe troubling or challenging or tough, you know, if I went through this really hard period, that the heavens should open up and everything should make sense and everything would be great and everything I imagined and all my expectations would be met. And I guess lately what I've been really pondering on is that's not really how it happens. And I think I think maybe I had this sort of drive-through mentality about how I want my prayers answered, that, you know, I wanted it quick and I wanted it now and I wanted it convenient and exactly the way that I wanted it. And so what I'm learning through my cancer journey, that will always be, even though I'm technically cancer-free, you're always on a survivor journey and a thriver journey when you're, you know, certainly anybody that's been diagnosed, but certainly a young person, you just try to make sense of it and realize that it's just always going to be a journey, and it's always going to be a fight. And so I just continue to fight in every single way, to capture my thoughts, to lean on God. So I just, fight for a deeper faith, a fight for my body to stay healthy, because it isn't that easy when you've been through chemo and radiation and all these really terrible things, and then taking ovaries when you're 41 years old and kicking your body into menopause and on chemo drugs. And so there's like, being healthy and feeling good is a constant struggle. You guys know I love my plexus, and that's been a huge part of me being okay and having vitality and health. And so, I just have, like, this isn't a plexus video, you guys, but I just have, like, I think an amazing testimony in that regard, and how God has used plexus in my life for that tool. But there's just a lot. So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know where I was, that we're good. My family's good. My kids are good. We're going into surgery tomorrow, and we're going to be fine. But that's kind of what the picture looks like. So after tomorrow, you guys, and I know I've got some prayer warriors out there, so I'll take all the prayers I can get, that I would have, that everything would go as planned. I would certainly have a speedy recovery. I need to get back to kids and homework and activities and all the wonderful mom things that I do and I love to do. And then also, always, please don't forget me in prayers, Lord. I say, Lord, guys, because I don't ever want cancer to come back. Cancer has to always just be it needs to be a distant memory. And there is fear, and I struggle with that, and I push through that. But if you guys could remember me and my family in prayer, that this cancer would never, 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 never come back into my body, and that I would live a very, very long time to certainly see my kids grown, to get them out of my little nest. And I'll celebrate that day when I have the last one, who is Elliot, that, leaves the nest, and then even a celebration when I have those grandbabies born. So that's what you guys can do for me. Okay, thanks for watching. Yeah, bye.